Give me my theme music!
Mr. Huff, Mr. Jenner is ready for your interview.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as Buff Nation. Welcome in to Buff's News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ Dornish, and it is a great day to be a Buff. That's right. All the haters are collapsing. The college football world is imploding, and Colorado is on the mountaintop, and we haven't even won a national championship just yet. As Coach Prime Deion Sanders signs a 5-year extension worth over $10 million a year, 10.8 to be precise, making him the 4th highest paid coach in college football, more than Matt Rule at Nebraska, more than Sarkisian at Texas, and more than Dan Lanning of the Oregon Ducks. That's right, baby. Coach Prime, one of the highest paid coaches in all of college football, is here to stay. And all the people that said that Coach Prime would not stick around in Colorado as soon as his sons left, where are they now? Where are they now? Don't worry, we're going to have plenty of receipts to go through today. We're going to have so many things to go through today, but I also want to take a look at this from a financial standpoint. We want to go through the contract. We want to go through the incentives. We want to go through the behind the scenes, because luckily for us, in the last several hours since the announcement was made, a lot more has come to light. So while I was not on at Breaking News on this channel, instead, we're on a little bit later, and now we can collect all of the information and put it all out there for you in one succinct video, and also talk about why Coach Prime and his contract is 100% worth it to the University of Colorado, and why. So much to cover in the next hour or so. So sit back, go get a beverage. It's a Friday afternoon, baby. Get in front of your TV or computer. Get in the chat with me here. Or if you're watching this later on, sit back, relax, because we've got a lot to cover, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So before we get started, before we, really dive in to the nitty gritty nuts and bolts of everything, I want to first give a shout out to Buff Nation. So let's go through the chat. I see all the regulars in here. I see all the people getting to do their parade, getting to run around and shout it from the mountaintops that we were right. We have been vindicated, everybody. We have been vindicated of all the haters in the entire country, because baby Coach Prime is here to stay. Okay, 4th highest paid coach in CFB, OC and DC, highest in school history, able to afford a Hall of Fame staff, new field approved, all before the spring portal and game. CU is on fire right now. D-Nice, you are not wrong. Facts. Now let's build this program back to being a powerhouse. We're already down that road, Robert. We're going down that road, baby. Let's bring that 90s vibe back to Boulder. That's right. Where's my, crud, what's his name, the rapper that wore the CU hat back in the 90s that I'm just completely blanking on right now, and I'm going to feel absolutely terrible. Ice Cube. Let's get Ice Cube wearing CU stuff again. Let's get CU back in the rap culture as a cool brand to wear again. Let's bring it all back to the way that it was back in the 90s. What's good, Shank? Appreciate you dropping by. It is a beautiful day in Boulder for so many reasons. By the way, Boulder is having the greatest week in the history of mankind. Not only is Coach Prime extended and here to stay till 2029, but Boulder also just stole the Sundance Film Festival from Utah. Take that, you Utah whatever you ares. Boulder's back, baby. Boulder's back. It's the glory days in Boulder. The glory days in Boulder. All the haters and doubters are in shambles. Humbled and quiet. 5-year, $54 million will do it. That's right, Cam. It did happen. How's it going, Turbo? Appreciate you dropping by. Twitter has been fun today. And don't worry, I've bookmarked some of the best ones. So if you're not on Twitter, you're going to see the best receipts there are out there. So we'll be going through that later on. Coach Dre, how's it going? I told y'all months ago everything was going to be okay when Coach said faith and worry don't go together. He just wanted to make sure his coaches was good. First respect. First respect. Oh, the good old receipt street. Yep, we're getting that towards the end of the show. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm holding out for a $15 million a year, not watching until they send me my check. Okay, well, Gear, I'm going to have to let Rick George know, and maybe we'll see that go through. Allie, appreciate you dropping by. Feeling good Friday, all good vibes. Yep, Coach Prime is going to have a huge shrine at CU when it's all said and done. You might even see Coach Prime's face carved in the flatties. We're well on our way to Mount Prime in the Flatirons. Coming true. Okay? Coming true, guys. Rick George, big reason all this happened in the first place. He took the chance on Prime. He deserves everything and all the love from everyone. And we will give Rick George his flowers because Rick George has made all Buffs fans' dreams come true, baby. Come true on this Friday afternoon. Great day to be a Buff fan. Joe, welcome in. Appreciate you dropping by as well. I can smell the new facilities, the players, the local events, the uniforms, and the coaches on the way. It's only just begun. We are going to see some of the best of everything. It's all we have to look forward to now. It's all we have to look forward to. That stadium upgrade now just really need to complete with the Blue Bloods stadium-wise, and that's going to happen. That is going to happen. I'm telling you guys right now, everything is out in the open now. Everything that I've talked about, that everybody else has talked about for weeks on end, has finally come true. With Coach Prime's extension, it's a proof of more than just that. Do you guys think that Coach Prime would sign his contract if the money was not going to be coming for facility upgrades, for NIL, for coaching staff upgrades? All of that is happening and will be happening to this team moving forward. Okay? Coach Prime does not sign that contract without assurances that all of that is happening. Okay. He would not do that without those assurances. And so that is a big, big aspect of this process. Okay. So we got so much to talk about when it comes to the contract. And Robert already wanting that new Ralphie. Probably in the future, it will be humming. Smell a Ray Lewis and Ed Reed in the future for that CU staff. Probably, most likely happening. Unspoken, welcome in. Hopefully a new halftime show. Something will be in the works instead of that cheerleader with the high-pitched voice. Rick George needs his face carved in the mountains. Now he'll deliver just as promised. I mean, we've got the perfect Mount Rushmore of Colorado already set up, guys. Think about it. You could put up there Rick George. You could put up there Coach Prime. You could put up there Coach Mack. And then add in your 2 Heisman Trophy winners. You know, have Salam, have Travis Hunter. There is your CU Mount Rushmore that is massively deserving of being on the Flatirons, if I do say so myself. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit more as what this is going to be. The recruits better get in now before it's too late. Hey, the recruits that are already here, they bought in early. They get their spots. There's not much left on the roster. Hopefully it'll happen. A few guys were saying Coach Prime had a very good what, Donnie? Love to see it. Prime will bring CU its second natty. Absolutely. Coach Dre, you get it. You got what's up. Hey, go out. Share the video to every Buffs fan you have. Share the video on all socials. Let's get this party bumping today. Get those likes up so more people see it over on YouTube. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Let's get into it. Let's go into the details as we've got a lot of amazing stuff to cover. And we're going to start over in Twitter land, everybody. We are going to go start in Twitter land as, of course, Brian Howell, Adam Munster Tiger, the guys on the ground in Boulder have brought us a lot of information when it comes to this contract, okay? A lot of information when it comes to this. So I am going to get you guys all of that information pulled up. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it and show you everything that you need to see when it comes to that. Let me pull up the contract details, some of the information that we have as far as the contract goes. And man, we have so many great people to look to as far as getting news and information when it comes to this contract. How it happened, when did it happen, what does it mean? But first off, let's go to the first thing, okay? Let's talk about this tweet, which I absolutely love, by the way, from Scott Proctor, one of the first people to put this out. So he did the information and the news for it. The highest paid coaches in all of college football. Number one, Kirby Smart, $13.2 million a year. Number two, Ryan Day, Ohio State, $12.5 million. Number three, Dabo Sweeney from Clemson, $11.1. Number four, that's right, he's in the top 5 highest paid coaches. I saw Locked On Buffs tweet out that he's a top 10 paid coach now. He's not a top 10 paid coach. What are we talking about? Give the man his flowers. He is a top 5 paid coach in all of college football at $10.8 million, coming in just a little bit ahead of Steve Sarkisian from Texas. That's right, baby. We paid more for our head coach than Texas did. Okay? Notice who else isn't on here. As I said at the top of the hour, the top of this specific video, he's getting paid more than Caleb DeBoer. He's getting paid more than a Miami coach, a Florida State coach, a Florida coach. He's getting paid more than Matt Rule of Nebraska. Well, that's kind of a given, right? Let's be honest. It is kind of a given that he would get paid more than Matt Rule. Okay, we already knew that was coming. But then the best one of all, my most favorite coach to punch in the face, the most punchable coach in all of college football, Coach Prime is paid more than Dan Lanning of Oregon. Where's that Nike money now? Where's that Nike money right this moment? That's right, it's not there. So Coach Prime, the 4th highest paid coach in all of college football. Now, actually the details. Let's take a look. So here are some of the incentives. So Coach Prime could make more than the $10.8 million that he makes a year. Coming in from Brian Howell. The breakdown is $150,000 if the football team wins 9 games. That means if they match last season, Coach Prime gets $150,000. For each additional win after the 9th, up to 12 wins, Coach Prime will get an additional $100,000. Okay? So he could make another additional $300,000 if he goes undefeated. Plus the $150,000, you're looking at $450,000, a $500,000, if you want to say, if Coach Prime goes undefeated. Now, if he goes undefeated, where is he going to end up? Well, if they play in the Big 12 championship game, that's another $150,000. So if Coach Prime goes undefeated, you know he will be playing in the Big 12 championship game. So that is another $150,000. So take that $450,000, add $150,000. We're now at what? $550,000, $600,000, over a $500,000 if we go undefeated and go to the Big 12 championship game. Okay. Number 4, $150,000 if the football team is invited to a non-college football playoff bowl game. Okay. If $150,000 is the football team is invited to a non-college football playoff bowl. So just this past year, we went to the Alamo Bowl. Coach Prime would have got $150,000. Okay. Now, if the team goes to the playoffs and wins the conference championship as well, you're looking at $400,000 to $450,000 for Coach Prime. plus $100,000 if football team appears in the college football semis, plus $200,000 if they appear in the championship, plus $250,000 if they win the national championship. If Coach Prime wins a national championship, you would understand that he would hit all of the other most likely incentives on this. You're looking at easily $1 million to $1.5 million that Coach Prime would get if the Colorado Buffaloes win a national championship. Okay, so it looks like we've got some breaking news. I'm going to really quickly jump over to that. It looks like, per everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys, that the NCAA is denying Colorado's request and Syracuse's request to play each other, which is absolutely ridiculous at this point, especially if the reasoning for that is what it looks like, okay? So it looks like we are getting denied based on the fact that the game is too close. That is absolutely hilarious to me that you think that Coach Prime can't make this happen in a short period of time. Absolutely hilarious of the NCAA for denying this. Okay. Obviously, it's not going to take away. It's not going to take away from the day that we're having, the celebration that we're having, but it's still a joke by the NCAA that they did that. Okay. Absolute joke that they did this. No point in it that they could do it. Okay. I don't get that at all. Makes zero sense to me. If I'm Colorado and Syracuse, you know what I do? I do what everybody else is doing. I sue the NCAA and I get the game anyway, because you know that as soon as that happens, the NCAA would crumble harder than the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. If you get that reference, you get that reference. Wink, wink, you get it. Okay? Should have known. What's the negative aspect to them having it? If they're saying that a proposal got denied because there's not enough time to plan for it, that's an absolute joke. That's an absolute joke. That's my point. That's my point. But we're not going to let this bring us down, but we've got that breaking news right here on the live show. You saw it here first, okay? NCAA denying Colorado and Syracuse their spring game. Okay. Too close, recruiting advantage, missing classes. It's absolutely hilarious. It is hilarious that this is what's happening right now. Okay. So here is what happened with it. Okay. Informational items. Review and provide feedback on legislative relief waiver. The committee reviewed and provided feedback to the NCAA staff on a legislative relief waiver requesting permit to 2 FBS institutions to engage in a joint contact practice session, a joint non-contact practice session, and an 11-11 on scrimmage during the institution's spring practice period. The committee has raised concerns regarding, 1, the timing of the request, noting most institutions have already planned their spring practice periods and some are at the end of or have completed their spring practice period. 2, the competitive and recruiting advantage gained by the applicant institutions if a waiver was approved to allow these institutions to engage in activities no other institutions are permitted to do. Hey, the other institutions can do it. Who says we're not going to permit them to do it? Let them do it if they want to. Number 3, the potential academic impact associated with student athletes. Oh, the NCAA is still on their game when it comes to student athletes. The NCAA is a joke. The NCAA is a joke. Oh, the potential academic impact associated with student athletes missing class time to participate in practice activities. The committee advised the NCAA staff that, for reasons noted above, it opposed the waiver. The committee agreed to discuss, during a future meeting, a concept that could permit in future seasons. If I'm Colorado, I sue right now, because I can tell you right now, the timing of the request, most periods, let other teams do it. Let other like, you don't think we're in the middle of spring practice right now? You don't think that we're planning this on short notice? Like, you don't think that's happening? Like, absolutely, that's happening right now. All of these excuses are completely bogus, and I guarantee you would not hold up in court if either team decided to take the NCAA to court. And we know how fast the house of cards that is the NCAA would fold if these two teams did that. I guarantee it would happen. And here is the great point, Coach Dre. I would agree on this. I bet you if Georgia or Texas want to do this, it wouldn't be a problem. Fun how it comes out after Coach gets paid. Just fun NCAA, some clowns. And that is my point exactly. Then who cares? Who cares? Then number 2 is completely pointless. The competitive and recruiting advantage gained by these institutions while every other team is canceling their spring game because they say that being on TV during the spring is a disadvantage to them in getting their recruits stolen from them. I laughed. I laugh at this. Absolutely hilarious. Oh, this is hilarious. I love that this is happening during our show. I'm not going to let it completely derail the show. I could talk for hours and hours about this. I may have to do another show entirely on this and talk about it in a video. And I hope that if Coach Prime and Colorado want to keep the train going, sue the NCAA. Sue the NCAA for this ruling and prove that all 3 points that they make are completely hogwash. And I guarantee you we get that spring game in a couple weeks. I guarantee you that we get that spring game in a couple weeks. That's where we're at. That is where we are at. Okay, guys, chat's going crazy today. If you absolutely need me to read your chat, just make sure, again, just promoting, it's our stream. Feel free, throw out the super chats. Happy to answer those 100%. I'll do the best I can to answer everybody's, but we're going through so much. Okay, moving on. Let's get back to the contract, guys. So obviously we talked about it. Over $1 million, over $1.5 million if we win a national championship. Coach Prime can also win another extra $75,000 if he is selected as the Big 12 Coach of the Year, and $150K if he is selected as the National Coach of the Year. So let's just talk about it, okay? Coach Prime is raking in that money. Coach Prime is 100% raking in that money, okay? That is without a doubt. Now let's move on to the why, the how, what else is going to affect. But I want to talk about probably the most important one that you guys are probably all questioning right this minute, which is what is the buyout? Okay. That is going to really determine how long this contract is for. Okay. So when it comes to the buyout provider, when it comes to this contract, this is something you're going to have to pay attention to. It's come out several places. I'm going to use Scott Proctor's tweet here to talk about it. So here's your buyout numbers. This will let you know an idea of what this contract truly is, because let's be honest, it's probably not going to be a 5-year deal. We're probably looking at a 2 to 3 year deal where an extension would either occur or Coach Prime moves on to the NFL to coach his son, whatever happens at that point. By the way, he's not coaching another NCAA team. No matter what anybody says, this proves it. He's not going to any other NCAA institution at this point. Why spend all the years building up the program to be your exact liking, to get everything that you want, to just move on to another NCAA program? So it's not happening. He's not going to Florida State. He's not going to any other university in the country. It's Colorado or the NFL or retirement. That's it. So when it comes to the buyout numbers we've got here, okay, year one, that means this upcoming year, $12 million to buy him out. Year two, $10 million to buy him out. Year three, $6 million to buy him out, then 4, then 3. Okay. So if you remember his very first year with Colorado, I believe it was 7 or 8 million was his buyout. Okay. Second year that dropped, I think, to 7 or 6. So we've increased this and we pushed it out. Okay. We've pushed it out. And what we've got here is pretty much, I mean, like I said, it guarantees that Coach Prime at minimum is probably here through 2027. That is my assumption based on those buyout figures. Now, could an NFL owner come around, pay the big, massive money? Could a Jerry from Dallas pay that? Yes, he could. Would he? Probably not, because Jerry, as we know, is a cheapskate when it comes to his football teams. I'm not the one, it's just fact. I've had tons of Cowboys fans tell me that exact fact. Just look at how much they spend on coaching at that organization. He doesn't like to spend a lot for a big-time head coach, okay? He doesn't want that to happen. So what we've got here, Deion Sanders buyout numbers, he's here at least a minimum through 2027, so 3 more seasons, which is what I thought, because that puts him through Julian Lewis's career at Colorado. I said that from the get-go. I said that last year when we were looking at Julian Lewis, and all those USC fans said, oh, he's not going there and Coach Prime's leaving. I said, no, Julian Lewis will be at Colorado, and Coach Prime will be here through Julian Lewis's time at Colorado, whether that's 3 to 4 years. That's what I think. Okay, that is what I think. So that is where we're at there. Okay, outside of those numbers, those are the big ones, the buyouts, the incentives, the actual deal itself, where it puts him in the zeitgeist of college football. Now, outside of that, I want to take you guys down a stroll of what happened. So up here, Adam Munster Tiger, giving him all the credit in the world, has broken this down from boots on the ground as far as how this is working and what is happening with Coach Prime, okay? So the CU Board of Regents unanimously approved a new 5-year contract for Coach Sanders, which runs through the 2029 season. According to Brian Howell, Coach Prime will make $10 million in 2025, $10 million in 2026, $11 million in 27, $11 million in 28, and $12 million in 29, for an average of $10.8 million. Only 7 FBS coaches made over $10 million last year, according to US Today. I saw somebody in the comments say earlier that Dan Lanning is making more than Coach Prime. Let's take a look at what the USA Today article says as far as what people made last year. Okay. So let's see. 13 for Kirby, 11 for Dabo, Sarkisian 10.6. Is 10.8 a year more than Sarkisian? Yeah. Let's see where Dan Lanning is. Okay. I want to go back to that comment a while ago that tried to say that I was incorrect in saying that he was the 4th ranked coach as far as payments going. Okay. Let me see if I can find that comment. Where was that? Yeah, that's right. After the game, Dan Lanning gets paid $11 million. Coach Prime gets paid $10.8. Oh, let's see. Oh, Dan Lanning, $8.2 million. What do you know? Not $11 million. Wonder. How does that work? Did he get an extension this year for $11 million? Just wondering. Okay, so this is where people were making last year. Okay, Lincoln Riley, he makes over 10. We're right there with USC. He also makes more than that. Ryan Day, he got an extension increase of pay, so that's why he's bumped up based on the list that I had. Mike Norvell at Florida State, Kalen DeBoer, so he makes more than Bama, Florida State, USC, Texas. FYI, almost 11 million doesn't mean 11 million. Well, we may get the next quarterback on May 15th when the 4-star commits. Coach Trey, okay, going to that real quick. Side tangent on that, by the way, I don't think we're getting him. Guys. Why would a top recruiting quarterback for the upcoming class come to Colorado at this point when you have Julian Lewis with 4 years of eligibility ahead of you? That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not focused on that recruit. I'm not focused on us getting him. I think we're just in his top 4 because, again, Colorado, gets the needle going. So we'll see. But just an FYI, I wouldn't be too focused on that one. Okay, so we've got that. Now, I want to keep reading because this article has a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of stuff that we need to talk about here, okay? Here is what Coach Prime said in official, by the way, statement. I haven't seen this over on social media, so this is what Coach Prime said today after the news broke. I am excited for the opportunity to continue building something special here at Colorado. We've just scratched the surface of what this program can be. It's not just about football. It's about developing young men who are ready to take on the world. I'm committed to bringing greatness to this university on and off the field. We've got work to do, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here, making history with these incredible players and this passionate fan base. Lastly, anybody got at least a 5-bedroom home with acreage that they have for sale? So, as we know, this is all he has said throughout the week. He talked about the interview with Skip Bayless earlier that he talked about. I am not going anywhere because Skip is obsessed with him potentially going to the Cowboys. But let's talk about financials because, as you guys know, I have a finance background. That's what I do for my daily job. I have a finance degree, a master's in finance. So that is everything we want. Okay. So as far as the finances go for Coach Prime and what he brings to the university, of course, we know that applications to attend CU Boulder increased 20% from a year ago, okay, including an 18% increase in applications from out of state. Applications from prospective students who identify as Black African American increased by 50%. 50%. Okay? 50%. That is a massive number, by the way, guys. Okay? Boulder is changing. Okay? And applications from prospective students who identify as non-white but not African American are up 29%. Okay? The past season, home football games brought in an estimated $93 million, almost $94 million in direct economic impact to the city of Boulder, and a total of $146 million to total regional impact. Okay? So it's not just on the field, it's off the field as well. Those are all massive things. Now, I want to talk about something else. We did a little bit of this when it came to January, when the financials for Colorado came out. Okay. A little bit of more background. I got in a huge fight with somebody over on Twitter who claimed that they're associated with the university and they know these things, but he didn't understand what we were arguing. He was like, oh, they can't make profit. Okay. We weren't talking about profit. We were talking about revenue. Okay. Record revenue for Colorado. And the reason that that wasn't profit, quote unquote, was because the school paid a lot of money when it came to the Pac-12, okay? So mind you, the financials that have come out officially were from the prior year. They were from Coach Prime's first year, which included the Pac-12 season, okay? So a little bit about this that you guys need to realize. So ticket sales for that year, so not this past season, but the year before Coach Prime's first year, $8.2 million profit. Now, when we say profit, okay, that doesn't mean that they pocketed that money. It meant it went into the general fund, but overall, based on the cost to run a game on a game day and then the ticket sales that they had, they made $8.2 million in profit, okay? After posting deficits in 5 of the previous 6 years, okay? That is massive. So the team is making money. The team is making money for the university. That money goes to other things. That money goes back into the program, all of that stuff. If you know things about nonprofits, you know that, yeah, they're not pocketing profits and they're not paying investors. No, they're paying their employees. They're pushing the money towards other initiatives, NIL, upgrades to the facilities, those things. That's why it's important. Now, when we released our info, we led the department, Coach Prime Effect, helped the athletic department to a record of $146.6 million in reported revenue and a record of $31.2 million total in football ticket sales. Okay. All school records. But here's the but, and this is where I like to explain it to people who want to understand and know what is going on. The overall athletic department revenue still includes a school record of $31.9 million in allocated funds. Now, if you know what allocated funds are, they are your endowments. They are other proceeds from the school that the school puts in every year to the budget. As bad as it is, as crazy as it is to think, and all universities do this, by the way, universities have endowments that pay out a certain amount of money that they put back into the school each and every year. So outside of the normal operating costs and the revenue that they get from tuition, from ticket sales, from all of that stuff, they also put in endowment money that goes towards everything in the program. So as far as that goes, they had a school record of $31.9 million allocated funds in the form of direct institutional support. That's going to be your endowments, $27.1 million. Indirect, that can be from donors, things like that outside. And then student fees, that's going to be your students actually paying into different things, $1.7 million. Without that, Colorado still would have posted and recorded generated revenue, but not nearly enough to keep up with its reported expenses. So obviously that's what it's supposed to be. That's normal. But the fact is they're still bringing in record numbers. That is a huge sign for why the school is fine with signing up Coach Prime for 5 more years of this. Okay. He is bringing in the money that he is spending. While he is spending a ton of money on coaches, he's spending a ton of money on, facilities and travel and food. Let's not forget the food because, oh my gosh, The food costs at Colorado have skyrocketed since Coach Prime came, which is completely fine. Now, the challenges ahead and what's going on, okay? So what exactly happened? What will happen? What could the next year look like when it comes to the finances? And I can already tell you guys that this past year, I guarantee you, will be an even better year than the year before because of this right here. The Pac-12 conference was the biggest reason that Coach Prime in Colorado did not make more money, okay? The biggest revenue categories in the report were football ticket sales, of course, okay? Now, the allocated university support is only slightly higher than the $31.89 million provided to athletics in the fiscal year, when the department posted a $9.1 million deficit, despite bringing in record revenues of $127 million. In previous years, the combined allocated support from the university was usually around $12 million. The problem is the shortfall in the year was attributed in part to a similar underwhelming distribution from the Pac-12. The Pac-12 was screwing us over the last 2 years of its existence. Okay? The Pac-12 was screwing over the teams that left by not giving them the money they deserved. Okay? So because of that, the Buffs missed out on a ton of contract fees, licensing fees, and TV revenue media deals. Okay? Now, with the Buffs being fully in the Big 12 this upcoming year, they will be getting a share of the media proceeds in a much larger sum than they did with the Pac-12. So already right there, that is going to be a massive influx of revenue for Colorado and Coach Prime. So when it comes down to that, Coach Prime already had a record year, even with the Pac-12 tying one hand behind his back. And now we get that free hand, and the Colorado Buffaloes and the football team will have a chance to improve that revenue even more subsequently. Now, I want to point out a little clip from DNVR today if you missed it. If you watched DNVR, then you saw it. If you did not, then no worries. I will show that here. Let me pull it up because I want you to hear a little bit of insight from RK. Of course, RK from DNVR, connected to the program, has a lot to do with that, has found things out behind the scenes, and had a little bit to say about that. Let me get my bookmarks up, and I will pull the video up here. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to our main man, Gucci, over on Twitter, who reposted the video. Here it is, guys, in all its glory. Listen in to what happened and how this is going to affect the program moving forward.
Hendy Tudd says the floodgates for recruiting have officially opened. Bring on the 5 stars. Facts.
Great point. And
thank you.
You reminded me to something that I wanted to bring up that I can share from this process. One of the things that Coach Prime wanted to be assured of is more NIL support for Colorado football. And I know for a fact that multiple people stepped up and committed to making sure that Coach Prime has that more support. So we've talked a lot about recruiting here and talked about how we're going to be opened up into a much larger pool of players, I believe. And it's my understanding that Colorado now has very, very competitive
war chest.
Exactly. To go in here. Doesn't mean we don't always need more,
of course,
but very, very good byproduct of this news.
Okay, so as you guys heard there directly from RK, the war chest is building, okay? The war chest has been building behind the scenes. Again, it's not public knowledge, guys. So to everybody out there in the world that has constantly said to me, whether on this show, whether on social media in general, saying that Colorado is money poor. They don't have money. They don't have money. They're shortened. I saw somebody even tweet out on one of the posts that was asking, why is Coach Prime not signed his extension? Colorado is gypping him. Colorado's being cheap. They even said, oh, I heard a rumor that Rick George pulled NIL money from Prime, and that's why he hasn't signed his extension yet. Like, do you listen to your guys' selves? You have no clue. Don't be speaking unless you have some clue about what's going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of people out there connected to the program. There's a lot of ways to connect to the program, okay? The only way I connect to the program, I talk to boosters. That's what I try and do. They have a lot of information. Feel free to reach out to them. In fact, I knew this extension was coming. I didn't realize it was going to happen this quick, but it looked like the tea leaves were there. If you missed it, over on social media, I retweeted a booster who on Monday tweeted out eyeball emoji, buff, smirk, excited. Okay. And I wondered at that point, because I, had seen some other things from that booster on some other places, who hinted at the fact that, don't worry, the contract would be signed at some point during this spring. And sure enough, what happens? We get that news last night of the emergency region meeting from Matt H over on Twitter, by the way. Always huge shout out to Matt. And what happens? The news breaks and this all goes down. There's a lot of places to look, guys. There's a lot of places to look for good information. Don't just talk, out of nowhere. Look. You could have found out about the Marshall Faulk hiring beforehand. You could have found out about the Byron Leftwich hiring beforehand. There's a lot of stuff out there that is easily available if you know where to look. So there's that. Now, King, I want to bring up your question, okay? Because I hope that this is in jest of just like trying to understand. Because I talked about this right up at the top of the show. Okay? He's not going to an SEC team no matter if they pay the buyout. Okay? He's not going to why go to an SEC school when you are building everything you need here? You have the keys to the kingdom here. You're getting every resource that you need here. What would be the difference between Coach Prime here, getting everything he wants, and Coach Prime at an SEC school? Location? Are we talking geography? Because I don't know if you've been to Boulder, but the one thing that people are realizing very quickly from the South, from, different places in the country that don't necessarily know much about Colorado, your Georgia, your Florida, your Texas even, is that when these kids get to Boulder and get to see what it's like, they fall in love with the state. They fall in love with the city. Nothing compares. I'm sorry. Nothing as far as location and how amazing it is of a place to live matches Boulder anywhere in the South, anywhere in the SEC. I would like somebody to name me one place that matches in the SEC to what Colorado and Boulder actually has if you've been here. If you've been here. And I would like all of you people who are either Colorado natives like myself, people who've been to Boulder, chime in. Be honest. Okay? Geography is the only thing that would be different between here and an SEC school, and I don't think that geography is going to make a difference when it comes to Boulder and what Boulder offers. As far as, the money goes, I don't think Coach Prime's in it for money. So it's not like an SEC school is going to pay him $20 million a year to go coach them, and he's going to jump ship for that. Okay? The other thing that I think that a lot of people are not looking at and don't understand is very few SEC programs are going to give Coach Prime the full autonomy to do whatever he wants with a program. I'm sorry, but the boosters connected to those SEC schools, they like having a say in things and what are going on. So another reason that's not happening. Add in the fact that, like I said, Coach Prime's going to spend all these years, all this time changing a culture, changing the coffers, recruiting, doing all this stuff. Okay, it's a little bit different than Jackson State. I'm sorry if you're a Jackson State fan, if you're somebody following that, if you're still mad about Coach Prime leaving, I'm sorry. But that was an HBCU / non-Power 4 team. He is now at a Power 4 school. So again, another thing that the SEC doesn't have over. We have a seat at the table. We have a seat at the college football playoff. So that's another reason. So that is here. You add in the fact that Colorado is supporting Coach Prime in every way, okay? To everybody out there that says, Colorado's being cheap, Colorado doesn't have the money, it's coming. It is all starting to pour in, guys. It is starting to pour in, 100%. I guess I made that comment because look at the team makeup of the SEC. Here's an example. We have one Jaheim Otis SEC team, is 5 or 6 like him, just an example. And King John, I get that. I do. But that's because SEC schools have had decades of tradition, decades of winning. I am now going to see what happens, but I guarantee you that the recruiting classes are going to heat up even more with the guarantee that Coach Prime is here for at least another 3 to 4 years. Watch the 2026 class, guys. Watch the 2026 class right now, because this is about to get very, very good. And all the articles right now out are saying the exact same thing when it comes to recruiting. that they have heard from a number of recruits who were not high on Colorado because they were afraid Coach Prime was leaving. Coach Prime is now guaranteed to stay. They are going to look at Colorado a lot harder. I guarantee you that we're going to see visits like a Chris Henry. I could see him easily coming to Colorado and seeing what's up. Does that mean he's going to end up here? No. But I could see him very well take a visit to Colorado and see what's up. Arrington out of California, one of the top recruits in the entire class. A potential two-way player. If he wants to stick on the West Coast and go to Oregon or USC or whatever, fine, go. You're not playing both ways there. They're not going to let you play both ways there. Okay? You're ruining your own career at that point. You're ruining your own career. So I could see him taking a visit to Colorado. He should take a visit to Colorado. He'd be dumb not to take a visit to Colorado at this point. All of the top players should take a visit to Colorado at some point and see what happens. See what happens. You don't have to commit. But give Coach Prime in Colorado a chance, because at this point, there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. Okay? Again, I am not saying, guys, that we are guaranteed to get either of those players. I know there'll be somebody in the chat be like, oh, we have no chance of Chris Henry. We have no chance of Arrington, blah, 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 blah. I get that. Okay? But I don't think the answer is we have no chance. I believe we have a very slim chance. There's a chance. As one of my favorite movies, Dumb and Dumber, says. So you're telling me there's a chance. And with Coach Prime's extension, I'm telling you guys, there's a chance. Okay? There is a chance. So that's my reasoning, King, why I don't see him going to an SEC school. The other problem you got at the SEC schools, look at the cultures there, King. Look at the cultures. You got Georgia getting players arrested on a weekly basis. You know that other schools are running into the same issues. We look back at what happened at like Florida back in the day. Okay. The problem is that the cultures there are not good because all the people there care about is winning above all else. Screw academics, screw the human nature of their players, screw how a player is after they leave the program. All we care about is winning. And while it absolutely needs to be about winning, Coach Prime also cares about the kids, and he cares about who they are. And what we've seen in the last 3 years is not Coach Prime going after the best of the best. He is going after the right players. He is going after the right players. And as we've witnessed the last 3 years, every time we watch a well-off video, every time we watch, practice footage or social media, that these kids are gaining tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter because Coach Prime's picking guys that mesh with each other. He's picking chemistry over just taking the best players. So there is a whole ton of things that need to happen. And a whole ton of things that Coach Prime is building that you have to build from the ground up. You have to build from scratch. I don't care what you have in the coffers there. Okay. If he goes to an SEC school, half those kids are leaving. And what's going to happen is, he's going to have to start from square one again. Why? Why start from square one when he is already here and he's at square 7, square 8, whatever you want to talk about it on a 10-ring ladder. He's already there. So that's something to think about. That's something to understand when it comes to what's happening and why Coach Prime is here to stay. Okay? That's why. Yeah, Georgia's outside in these streets. Dodge and Athens is out here making heck of profits. Coach Prime deserves it. I appreciate you coming in. Yes, he does. Okay? Yes, he does. And Northside, what tight ends have we had? That'd be my question. I'm late, but catching up this loud restaurant. Let's go, Buffs. Lady C, how's it going? Appreciate you dropping by for a little bit. Hey, come back, watch the whole video later on when you're not in, a public area if you want to. Got a lot of information that we talked about already on the show. So appreciate you dropping by as always. King, keep in mind, CU was irrelevant for 20 years. So no, they don't have that kind of depth yet. And that's the point. We have to get there. But why build it up to that point and then walk away? That's my question. And that's where we're at. Okay. Yep, we got it. I mean, he's not going anywhere. You guys get it. You guys absolutely can get it. Man, I can't wait for spring break to be over. K-Salt already at the CU facility working with Shador. I think most of the guys will come back today, tomorrow, because they have meetings on Sunday. They're going to start work early. This team's locked in. Like I said, this team's locked in. You saw all the guys over spring break working their butts off. Gibson, Farrakhan, Joseph Williams working really hard over spring break. The guys are locked in. The guys are locked in, and I'm telling you, they're locked in. Okay, they are absolutely 100% locked in. Now, let's get to the fun part of the show, guys. Let's entertain the masses. Okay, let's do it. I like to call a little session, a little segment of the show called Receipt Street. Okay, Receipt Street. We're going to go down and look at some of the wonderful and fabulous receipts that are out there on Twitter after today's wonderful showing. So, you know, let's figure this out, guys. Let's figure this out. Of course, the greatest post that we can look at is, of course, the post from On3 talking about the interest in hiring Deion Sanders to Las Vegas, which just so happened to coincide with the transfer portal period. Roughly afterwards, recruiting. Hey, why not throw this out there, get the engagement, and make things look bad? And of course, our friends over at CFB Home, the most you-know-what account on the internet, okay? Colorado fans, we tried to warn you. Washington State fan here. They still think he's staying. They still think he's staying. Let's go through these, okay? Reality is hitting Colorado. Okay, real great job there, buddy. Fans harder than their overall record the last 2 years. Did we not go 9-2? 9-3? Did we not? What? Oh my gosh. We'll always have the Alamo Bowl, Prime, says BYU fan, celebrating. Is that the only franchise stupid enough to take him? His kids ran out of eligibility, so he'll lose interest fast. Oh my gosh. I just love it. He isn't going anywhere. Thank you. Called this one way back. Just want those recruits to run for the hills now. Oh, love it. Love it. Let's keep going. Oh, look, the post, the account deleted on this one that I kept, guys. The receipt was so bad that they deleted their account in the last hour because you guys probably bombarded them. I'm telling you, it's not happening. I don't think they let McCarthy walk without having some contingency in place. That's not how Jerry operates. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Robert. Where's Robert right now? 2-year Colorado fans in shambles. I mean, our 2-year Colorado fans are doing pretty good right about now. Pretty good right about now. Y'all really thought he was going to stick around in Colorado after, of all places. So Colorado's such a terrible place without his kids. I think he's sticking around. Oh, look, here's our friend Rage. If you guys know who Rage is over on Twitter, best Arizona fan. He's still leaving. Yeah, he's not leaving. Ducks, especially considering Deion won't be there next year. Yeah, how's that working? They're going to have to fill 3 spots, Shedeur, Travis, and the head coach when the season's over. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, my gosh, guys. Like, this is what we get to entertain ourselves with as Colorado fans. We are the bad guys, everybody. We are the bad guys. And you know what? It's good. It's good being a bad guy right about now, guys. It's good being a bad guy. Okay. Cam, I agree. Quentin is working his butt off. Oh, gosh, that guy's so good. He's going to be so good. Yeah, I get that, but man, 5 years, can you build that in 5 years? Well, I know that's a long way off. What happens after that? He either continue or he retires at that point, guys. He's building it up, though. He's building it up. Listen, I love Coach Prime and I believe in his mission. I'm just thinking about what these kids may be considering. Well, the kids won't be here in 5 years. Kids won't be here in 5 years. If they can get 4 years of Coach Prime, I think they're good. Coach Prime would be eaten alive in the SEC, sadly, reason being the boosters control the program. You really think Prime would be happy at a Texas A&M? I think not. It's true. He would not have the free reign that he does at Colorado. I got to get on Twitter. Seems like a hilarious platform. It's not, though, King John. Just FYI. I'm only there because it's super easy to share sports news, but it is honestly a trash platform. I'm just going to say that. You probably don't want to. I would have liked to see a higher buyout, though. I mean, still pretty darn big, buddy. Still pretty darn big. I'm telling you, I said this earlier in the show, a minimum of 3 years. Nobody's paying that buyout for 3 years. And if they do, Colorado's going to be in great shape because we can turn around and use that money on a new coach. And at that point, we should be a pretty darn good program, and we should be able to go after somebody. Hey, who wouldn't want like a Michael Vick or a Deshaun Jackson to come into Colorado after Coach Prime? We'd have the money for it. We'd have the path to it. Get them to a Power 4 school. I think that could happen. Buyout is pretty negligible. If any NFL team wants him, they'll pay whatever anyway. Yeah, but it gets Colorado a lot of money. That's the difference. It gets Colorado a lot of money. It really, really does. Guys, a lot of stuff to take in today. A couple other comments that I want to talk about as well. Cam had a great comment earlier I wanted to touch up on. What's funny is CSU had their new basketball coach intro press conference and was supposed to be big news, but then CU was like, hold my beer and drop the Coach Prime news. CSU is never big news. Absolutely hilarious little brother. We got that already. Okay, what else we got here? Will we get new coaches? I assume Northside is what you're saying. I'm assuming we're not done. I'm assuming we'll always be open for new coaches. The salaries are just going to continue going on. Absolutely. Yep. Rev, you got it. You've got it. After 3 years, they can renegotiate anyway and give it more money. Exactly. These are 3-year extensions is what they really are. They're 3-year extensions. We're going into year 3. They sign the extension. When we go into year 3 again, they'll sign another extension or work on an extension or figure out where we go from there. These are 3-year deals that just keep adding up. Okay. So that's what's going on here. That's how this is working. Absolutely, Rev. Appreciate you with the knowledge, with the drop, with everything you got going on. Hey, I'm going to leave you guys. We're not going to leave just yet, so stick around. But, to kind of end our time with Twitter, I think Scott's got it right here. The Colorado 2026 recruiting class is about to be scary. It is about to be scary. So, something to think about as we go through this time period, as we go through spring practice, as we go through what is going to be an amazing transfer portal. Okay. Guys, this is it. This is where we're at. Okay. Hey, on your way out, we want to talk about the turf news. We can on the way out. We got a few more minutes left. Let's talk about it. Obviously, Colorado announced the news that this summer they're replacing the natural grass of Folsom Field with turf. Now, I saw David, my good friend David, talk about this. He's excited for it. He's fine with the news of turf coming in. Here's why I'm not. Okay? Here's why I'm not. And there's a big reason, because one person pointed out that over half of the college football teams in the country play on turf. I wanted to point out that a majority of the top football teams in the program do not play on turf. Okay? They do not. And there's an obvious reason for that, because let's be honest, when it comes to the turf, that is something that, can lead to injuries, that can lead to other issues with the school. Now, the benefit of having a turf field, there's a couple. Obviously, it will cost less in the long run for Colorado because less of upkeep. It'll also allow Colorado to host games later on into the season without the field being a nuisance. So things like, something to think about when it comes to that of we can have a late game playoff game in Colorado and not have grass issues. So that's kind of a big thing to think about when it comes to that. Okay. But it's not ideal. Plus the other side of this, the other coin to this, guys, is we'll also get more money out of Folsom. Okay. Because Folsom can't really host other events because of the damage that it can cause to the grass. You have turf. You can now host things like concerts, more concerts at Folsom, and do that more there. So there is a chance at higher revenue, lower cost, later in the season, you'd have better field overall than what you would with the natural grass. But you also run the risk of injury. Marie, you have a very good point here too. There was a lot of slippage. It looked like they were having a lot of issues with the natural grass field already this year. So there is honestly give and take. There's give and take to it. And King John brings up another point. People are saying they practice well on turf. Well, I say to those people, they aren't going full speed on the IPF, but I understand that it's a money thing. I think this is what it comes down to. It's a money thing. It's a way to increase revenue sources. It's a way to do some other things. It's a way to have those late season games. But because of the injury factor, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about it. I like the fact that we had been using natural grass. I would like to go back and look at what the injury history of Colorado has been for ACL injuries since we switched to grass. I feel like there's not a ton of those happening all the time. And you know that in turf, that happens a lot more frequent. I'd be interested to do a study and look at that. But it's not much we can do about it. There's really not much we can do about it and what that looks like. But when I was looking at the stats, a majority of SEC schools play on grass, but about 70% of college football teams play on turf. So the SEC is kind of in a league of its own when it comes to that. And again, that comes with the cost and the money associated with turf and grass. What kind are we going to buy? That I don't know yet. I mean, obviously my guess is it'll be the best turf you could possibly have, like top of the line. By the way, to those people who are like, oh, it's going to be like the old days of Folsom. We're not going back to that turf. That turf does not exist anymore in that form because it literally was concrete with a little tiny thin pad on top of it. Turf has drastically improved from the old Folsom turf. That was literally a little piece of rug on top of cement at Folsom. Go look at some of the highlights, by the way, back in the day, guys. I can only imagine what it was like to play on that. And if some of you in here are some of the older heads out there that may have played football on that kind of ground at some point in your career, you can attest that it's literally you're playing football on concrete. You're playing football on concrete that has like painted football field on top of it. It's essentially what it was. Arizona's field was turf, and I loved it. The team did too. I mean, it looks like they like it. So, I mean, they like it. I just don't know what the stats are going to be injury-wise if they'll feel the same afterwards. Just got home. What up, Russ? We have Coach Prime till 2029. Appreciate you coming by, Todd. Make sure to watch the whole stream. We talked about so much today. So I appreciate you being a part of this and doing that. Easier to keep grass in the South. And that makes sense too. Probably gets too hot, honestly, to have turf in the South at all times as well. Well, at least we know that the Diamond Turf Nike turf shoes will be cool. The DT Nike turf shoes will be cool. Absolutely. We're going to get some more colorways of that, I'm sure. And guys, can you only imagine? We're going to get more jerseys. We're going to get more stuff here because Coach Prime is here to stay. Coach Prime is staying a lot longer than just another year. He's here to stay. He's here to improve the program. He's here to blow this thing up, keep it going, and we are going to see unbelievable stuff. Northside, I would agree on this one, by the way. Dorian Barney, a lock to come to Colorado at this point. Dorian Barney is a lock. I guarantee he's coming to Colorado. I guarantee. That's my one guarantee for recruits so far. And in fact, I think that Dorian Barney could be the first 2026 recruit to commit. When that happens, I don't know. But I think he could be the first recruit in the 2026 class to commit. Yeah, DB probably coming home. 100% he is. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I had so much fun. You know, we get the Coach Prime contract news. We'll be talking more about this stuff, I'm sure, as time goes on. We obviously got the big news that the Syracuse-Colorado game got denied by the NCAA. We're going to keep tabs on that one because I don't think that story's over. I really don't. If Coach Prime in Colorado and Syracuse were smart, they would bring it up in the courts and get that game approved. I think they could do it pretty quickly. I really do. Because the NCAA is very good about folding. And of course, we talked about the turf field and all of the other ramifications of the contract. So I appreciate you guys so much. So much stuff. A lot of fun hanging out with you today. Hey, continue sharing the show. Continue sharing what we're doing over here. Getting the Buffs fans in the door. Guys, we're almost to 5,000 subscribers. We are almost to 5,000 subscribers. I believe in you to get those subscribers through the door. I absolutely do. Okay, just to give you an update of where we're at right now, numbers wise, by the way, we are at 4,783. Okay, 4,783. Last 2 weeks, we added 300 subs. So we do another 300. We're going to be at that 5,000 mark here in the next several weeks. So until then, I appreciate you guys so much for joining in today. And thank you guys for all the people who have watched the show today, who have liked, who have been a part of the conversation. You guys make this so much fun. But until next time, for Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm your host, Russ Dornish. Go Buffs! Hey, and just to finish out, by the way, guys, let's finish off with something good.
Mr. Huff, Mr. Jenner is ready for your interview.
Oh, wait, there we go.
Mr. Huff, Mr. Jenner is ready for your interview.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as a team.